All right, I got into the middle of glazing this bowl and really wasn't planning on doing a video. And I just thought, like I say, right in the middle of it, I thought, you know what, I ought to share this with everybody. So I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm kind of, I've got a large bowl here that is, let's see, what do we got? Just shy 12 inches. Looks like all total, we go edge to edge, it's about 11 and a quarter after bisque fire. And I have put 3 coats of River Birch on it. I did chatter it. There's a band right here of chattered, which I think will probably disappear because it's not real deep. And with the glazes on it, I don't know how it's going to break. I have my once a year sale coming up next weekend. We've been traveling. Not because we wanted to, because we had to. And we just got home yesterday, drove straight in 10 hours, and some time in the shop is necessary. But I've got 3 coats of River Birch on here, except for on the outside, that last little band down there, below that last groove right there, that last groove, I put 2 coats. And that's if we have some run or something, then I've got a little bit of buffer there. And there's a couple lines there, it'll slow things down. And then I'm putting Ancient Jasper on here. And you can see how I'm just putting splotches, and I'll go ahead and finish this up. I'm to the outside of it, but I'm just taking it, and this is really runny glaze. I don't want to go too deep on the outside because I know it's going to run. And I'm going to do these little spotches like this. I'm wanting to get some color in here. And this is, I have no more greenware to fire. So this is, I'm trying to get this finished up and run a kiln before, this is, what is it, Saturday? Next Friday is when I open the studio, the one time a year that I actually sell out of the studio. And so I'm just trying to get some of this done. And this bowl is kind of, it's been sitting out here forever, and I've thought about so many different combinations, and I just really couldn't settle on it. And then this morning I just started working on it and said, hey, what the heck, I'm gonna do something crazy I've never done before. So here we are. Like I say, this is Ancient Jasper on top of River Birch. And I want to get enough on here that when it does start to flow, she's going to run on down. We've got a swirl in the middle here, and those tend to, I've had sometimes this outside stuff looks like it flows under the flux glaze and ends up in the middle, and then there's a band where it doesn't look like it exists. They're really unique. I love the flux glazes. I love working with them, but I'm just wanting to show you guys what I'm doing here. And I really do appreciate some of you that give comments, feedback. Thanks so much for watching. I started, I know many of you know, not very long ago, say probably 5 years ago, doing this. I don't do it consistently. I'm not a professional. I'm an amateur. I just got blessed enough to be able to build a little studio out here when we built our new home. And it's kind of a place of solitude for me when I need it. And I get to work out here. And it's a great place to be. Out in the woods. If you can see, it's been raining all day. You can see out there, oh, I did get a new shed out here to put my lawnmower and everything in. Kind of matches my studio. Had a guy custom build it for us. But yeah, the dogwoods are blooming here in Arkansas. It is April 19th, and the red buds are about done, and we've got dogwoods. I'll try to show you some here if I can see it. Get out there. Let's see where we're at. Am I going the wrong way? It's that way. Should be some right out there. If you look out to that direction, there's some white dogwoods out there. You probably can't see them. They're a little ways out, but we planted some new ones this year. And since we plan on being here, and it'll probably take them 5 years to bloom, but I got them in the ground and they're about 6 feet tall. And one thing I love about living here in Arkansas is springtime, dogwoods, redbuds. Been here the majority of my life, and I just think it's a great place to be. So anyway, so I've got ancient Jasper on here, and now we're going to put that up, and I'm going to add a couple of different colors, and I really don't know. Hey, I'm learning as I show you, and so we'll do this together. But I'm going to throw some different colors on here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to put them on, but we'll get there. Wipe that lid away. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing I have run into recently is I started posting some of the stuff I was going to have for the sale. And I have all these people hitting me up wanting to pre-buy. And it's a lot of close friends, and it's like, I hate to tell them no, but I hate to advertise stuff and then it's already sold. All right, here we go. So we started out with River Birch, PCF 74, if you can see that. And then I got these splotches on here of Ancient Jasper, PC 53. Get that? And now I'm going to put some Smokey Merlot on here, which is a Potter's Choice number 57. So yeah, but I have friends that buy from me consistently, and when they say, hey, how many of those do you have? I'll take all of them. And it's like, I don't want to say no, but sometimes I want to say no, but I don't. I let them go. And sometimes it's things I really didn't plan on selling, and I can't tell them no on that either. It's like, yeah, I'll just have to make myself another one, I guess. This will be fun. I'm going to put this Smokey Merlot, I guess what I'm going to do, it looks like, is put them on the edges right here. You can see what I'm doing there. I'm going to kind of line that Ancient Jasper with the Smokey Merlots. And to a certain extent, I want to leave a space there because I want to get a third color in there. And so I don't want to get too much going there. But I want it heavy enough that it can run. But I don't want it down too far. This should be fun to pull out of the kiln. And I'm doing my best I'll add that kiln opening because I've got to do it. I've got to do it this week. I've got to get it done. And I've got to remember to film when I open it. It's just so hectic right now with everything going on. And didn't mean to do that, but that's okay. Sometimes that stuff gets in there and then you just get a little more color. So we have some travels planned this year. And like I say, just due to family emergencies, we had to take off I guess we left Sunday and got back Friday night. And so here I am on a rainy day. Doing some glazing and sharing it in a video for you. And as you can see, there's really no method to this. I'm just trying to not let it run down too far because it's going to, with that flux glaze, it's going to blend and it's going to run. We'll just see what happens here. Stop that. And I'm going to do them on the inside like this, and then I'll get the same thing kind of going on the outside. This one will be different, the way I'm going to do it. And sometimes when you're doing this, you think you have enough and you don't, okay? You really want to get enough glaze on here. We'll probably let that dry a little bit and then come back to it and get one more little coat on it. Okay, looks like we got around it. A little bit deeper. And we'll get the outside. See how that's working? And it always amazes me, I mean, if you do this at your own home, just how it looks when you're glazing it, and then what it turns out like after it comes out of the kiln, it's like, boy, you know, like blue Rutile goes on red, and then you have this really pretty blue. And some of these colors just in their raw form are not what you would think. I'll try to keep this up a little bit higher on this one. Not sure if you can see that. Let me try to adjust this just a little bit. Maybe that will help. But you can see the outside what I'm doing there. See how that is, just bringing it up. I try to taper it in a little bit. And like I said, I'm gonna get another color on here. Just kind of putting it on the outsides there. I'd love to hear from you guys and ladies about how you use the flux glazes. If you've got combos that you think I could use that have worked well for you, that would be neat if you could share them in comments. It's always neat to hear from others and what they've done. Yeah, we had storms last night. We had hail. Nothing big, thankfully. It was just pea-sized hail. We had planned on stopping halfway home, and by the time I got to stopping, after living in a hotel for a week, the thought of hauling luggage upstairs just to sleep and hauling it back down, I just said to heck with it. I drove home. And so we took about a 10-hour drive straight in, and we were just pretty wore out. But, you know, pottery I gotta get this done. Tomorrow is Easter. We missed the Easter egg hunt with the grandkids and everything because of having to be gone. But that's all right. You do what you do for family. All right, here we go. Let's try to. So that's kind of what we got going there. Again, this is Ancient Jasper, then Smokey Merlot. We're going to ditch that and go with one more color here. And then I have a lot of little tumblers like this little, you know, these are great for little wine glasses, bathroom mugs. I've got one in the bathroom that I use, just little things like that, playing with them. You know, sometimes I put little indentions in them. I'll show you. Sometimes, you know, these are great. You do that in trimming. You put a blue Rutile, indigo float, things that break really well on that texture like that. Throw them with about 12 ounces of clay, maybe a little more, a little less, just depending on what you prefer. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top this all off with some blue Rutile. Rutile. There it is. All right. Blue Rutile, Potter's Choice, PC20. And like I say, this has a little more blue tint than the old formula. This is obviously a new formula because it used to be just as red as ancient Jasper, but I like Blue Rutile. It's one of the first Potter's Choice glazes I ever used, and it does well with, put some textured turquoise underneath it, a couple of layers of textured turquoise under Blue Rutile makes a really pretty glaze. Sometimes I will mix it with like I'm doing here, with some Smokey Merlot. Not a lot, but you know, sometimes I'm just kind of throwing this in here where they're going to run together a little bit. Not really over layering it, but we'll see. I think this one will be fun. I think it'll come out looking pretty unique. You'll get some colors. We'll get some blending here. But I'm just dabbing this on. And I am putting it kind of heavy because I know she's going to flow. Should be interesting. Maybe make one that goes a little bit lower there, just for kicks. Let that one run down. You know, you just kind of, whatever trips your trigger here. Doesn't have to be anything specific. That way we've got Ancient Jasper, Smokey Merlot, and then Blue Rutile. And they are overlapping some here and there, which will just give us some real interesting colors. I may have to come back with some Smokey Merlot. I don't feel like I've got enough there on some of this. I guess as it dries. But we normally hit it with a heat gun. But I really don't want to stop and do that right now, but in between these you could hit it with a heat gun and dry it up real good. Interesting. All right, let's see, where are we? Right there, right there. Let's get that one down a little bit. Give us a drip, maybe, if we can get that to run. These will be fun. I'll get some of this on the outside in between that Smokey Merlot. It's a little harder out here. I don't really want to go too low out here. I mean, on the inside it can flow to the middle, but out here I just want it to kind of give me the same colors. Without going too low on it. But that's my preference. I mean, you could, it's not going to hurt anything. Kind of have to watch it because it will drip off with that angle like that. That angle, it just drips down on my bat I've got. And I don't know, it could just all come out brown, you know? Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And at some point, I think you almost have to learn to love brown or be disappointed a lot. Blue Rutile is one that you do need to get plenty of coats on it, at least 3 good coats, because it will just turn brown if you don't have enough glaze on it. It just gives you that, almost the color that it breaks, the copper break on texture that you get. It will, it'll just turn that color, and that's just not much fun at all when it does that to you. You may as well use Albany Slip Brown or something there. Like I say, I'm just splotching here and there. Let's see what it does. Maybe we'll just do it something like that. All right. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna come back and maybe, if you can see, this Smoky Merlot is a little bit dry in here, which makes me think I've got it a little thin, and so I may wanna get a little bit more Smoky Merlot in there. But other than that, this is going to be complete. And I will run that kiln this week. I just have a few more things that have got to be glazed over here. Not a lot. I've got some mugs. I do these little mugs. Arkansas, Bella Vista, where I live. It's real popular. Of course, I've got those. I've got these tumblers. I've got there's a little flower pot that's got a base up there for it. And this is a blended clay. I threw a black clay in here, and I'll probably just put a clear glaze on this, put some little feet on it. I like doing this kind of stuff, just manipulating after you throw it, you know, where you shape it, cut you out some little feet and stick them on there. I don't even know where I got this circle at, but somewhere I picked up a circle and just made indentions. I use chopsticks. Use anything you can find laying around to give it shapes and textures and just have fun with it. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and I will add this to the kiln opening, and we'll have a big bowl coming out, and we'll see what else there is. So have a great day. Thanks. All right, we're ready to open this kiln. I've got the lid open. It's been cooling for a little bit this morning. Had the plugs out of it. And we got a nice cone 6, as you can see. I'm gonna try to show you some of these in sunlight. I've got my door open, so you probably hear a lot of birds and various critters out there. Getting ready for the big sale, the once-a-year sale that I have. This is a Coyote Chino glaze that I put on here. I really like it with something like this. Let me see here. Apparently we're getting some shadow. There we go, that's better. I do some little feet. It gives it more of an oriental look. This is just a blended clay. I took buff clay with a black clay that I had, and just swirled it together. You can see on the inside. Sometimes I'll do a clear glaze on that, but I just decided to put a Chino on this, and it has a nice little platter to go with it. And I'm going to plant that up and see if I can't sell it here at my sale. This is honey flux. If you look through my videos, you'll see honey flux and iron luster mixed together. And this is a real pretty little porcelain vase. You can see how white that is. It turned out really nice. This one's going to be interesting. This is iron luster with oatmeal over the top of it. And I have a beautiful little lid that goes with that. If you can see those colors in that thing. You get pinks and turquoise and purples. And boy, it just, look at that. That's just gorgeous. Real happy with that one. Still a little warm this morning. I've got some mugs. This is, on my previous video, I think I reported this as being snow with a 1-inch band of cosmic tea dust. And that was incorrect. This is actually honey flux with 3 coats and then just a small band of cosmic tea dust at the top, and it really runs into this, but it really gives you some unique color. That's a pretty one. This is obsidian, 3 coats of obsidian, and then you put Smokey Merlot on top of it on the bottom, seaweed on the top. And that made for a really nice little mug. And look how that seaweed breaks into blues, greens, dripping down into that burgundy color. Really nice. One of my little mixing bowls, which is just a straight River Birch. This was a refire. It was a little thin the first time, so I put some more on it. Some real nice little drips right there. Trying to avoid that shadow from my light ring. That's real pretty. And then one more mug here. Well, I don't think I'll have any trouble selling these. This is River Birch with just a real light band of blue Rutile on the top to give it those drips. And that's just gorgeous. All right. Got a nice cone 6 on that one. And then the bowl is on the bottom here. And I guess I'm gonna wait till the very last to pull it out. Oh my goodness, it did some really cool stuff. But this is a blue Rutile. These are some little tumblers I made. Blue Rutile, and I ran a little bead around the top of obsidian, which really gave it a nice dark color at the top. Never done that before, but I like what it did there. And it broke really nice. Your blue Rutile will always break into these copper look. That's pretty. That is seaweed on the inside and honeydew flux on the outside. And this little mug, haha, that's what I thought. It had a little crack in there. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. And I glazed it anyway. But it doesn't go through, it's just on the inside. So we'll do something different with that. There's another obsidian ×3 with Smoky Merlot on the bottom and the seaweed on top. That's just a great combination to put together. This is a satin glaze from Coyote. Let me see what that is. What was that one? Seafoam satin. That's seafoam satin from Coyote on the bottom. You see how flat that is. And then I just put a rim up here of blue Rutile and honey flux to get some flow in it. Give it a neat color. It's pretty. Nice little wine sipper or bathroom mug. Here's another one of the Cosmic Tea Dust over honey flux. Gives you a real pretty, I just made some little indentions, some decorative, you know, those are really cool. Okay, and here comes the bowl that I showed you how to glaze. Look at that. Look at that. My goodness. That was River Birch. These dark spots here are ancient Jasper. And you know, I put Smoky Merlot around the ancient Jasper and then the blue Rutile, and I really don't see the Smoky Merlot in it. The reds just don't seem to be showing up very well. But it's gorgeous. It turned out nice. Just didn't do exactly what I thought it would do, which is, how often does it do exactly what you think it's going to do? So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate your comments. Thanks. Have a great day.